Happy Purim, everyone. Just a quick message about Purim. I feel like everyone's screaming about Haman, and everyone's like saying, well done Esther, well done Mordechai. But what about us? How does the Purim story apply to us Jews? What are we supposed to learn from it? So I was thinking about it a lot, and I found the common denominator in the story that if you take this one message, I think it's actually the whole point of Purim. Basically, there's the common denominator is the people who searched for honor in the Purim story ended up dying, and the people who didn't care about their own honor ended up becoming right at the top of the hierarchy of life and succeeding. For example, you have at the beginning of the story, you have the king's wife, Achashverosh's wife, Vashti. She was asked by the king to come and visit him during the party, and she was like, no, I can't make it, I'm sorry. And it just because she had like a certain blemish, she wanted to look perfect, she wanted to be more than she was. At that time, she didn't look perfect, she had a certain blemish in her body, whatever it is. She was like, no, I can't come, it's not in my honor to come. But it's not true. The king asked you to come, that means you have to come, you don't have a choice. It doesn't matter if you're not perfect, you have to come. That's like what you have to do. If you want more honor than you really deserve, then you're going to end up dead, Vashti. So Vashti was like, I don't care. Because I'm not perfect today, I don't look my best. So I don't want to come. So that's what she decided, and she was just killed. And then we have the same thing with Haman. It's well known that Mordechai owned Haman. Haman was Mordechai's slave. There was once a war, and Haman and Mordechai had a deal that if Mordechai gave Haman some food, that Haman would be willing to be Mordechai's slave. This was way before the Purim story, like 20 or 30 years before the Purim story. Chazal tell us that Haman has a tattoo on his bottom that said something like, Mordechai is my master. It's actually quite a funny thing, not many people know about this. The point is that Mordechai was above Haman, meaning Mordechai was Haman's master. And Haman was below Mordechai. But Haman wanted the honor of the honor to be above Mordechai in the honor hierarchy. The problem is Mordechai was really above him because Mordechai purchased Haman during the war when Haman needed food. So because Haman wanted that little bit of extra honor, he ended up dying as well, like Vashti, like we just said about Vashti. So you got two people in the Purim story searching for honor, and because they searched for honor, they ended up dying. Like the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, Hataiva, Hagaiva, V'Hakavoid, Motzi'in et ha'adam min ha'olam. Searching for honor is going to get you killed. It's going to make you leave this world. So the message, there's actually another thing, just to prove the point a little bit more. Esther also was scared to go to the king and do and to go to him, and when she wasn't allowed to go there, because there was a certain time of day that you weren't allowed to go to the king. If you went to the king without being asked, you'd be killed. So Mordechai said, if you don't go right now, then don't worry, the Jews are going to survive. But if you're going to try and protect yourself and keep your honor, keep your life, keep your survival, and care about yourself, meaning get your own self safe, looking for your life to be safe, meaning basically not searching for honor, but searching for your own safety as opposed to everyone else's safety, being selfish, then the Jews will be saved another way, but you're going to end up being wiped out and your name will never be said ever again. The common denominator here is when somebody tries to be more than they really are, that's when they're going to end up screwed in this world. And the Purim story comes to teach us such an important point. If you miss this, you've missed Purim. The point is, if there's something in this world that you're not good at or that you might not be deserving of, it's basically something that you're doing wrong in this world, meaning there's something that you're blemished in, and somebody approaches you and tells you, listen, you have this problem with you, there's something wrong with you, and you say, no, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm so perfect. And actually it's not true. It has to really be that the person that's talking to you is right and saying there's something wrong with you, but you're saying, and you're denying it. You're denying it. You're not going to check if it's true. You're just denying it. That's Haman. That's Vashti. And it could have been Esther. Esther almost fell down that hole of, I'm perfect, I want to protect myself so that I'll remain perfect. But she didn't. In the end, she decided to do the right thing. So Haman didn't. Haman wasn't able to say, you know what, Mordechai, you don't have to bow down to me because I'm anyway your slave. Vashti wasn't able to just do what the king said and come. She was like, I can't be seen less than perfect. I have to remain perfect in my own eyes and in everyone's eyes, and I'll die rather than be less than perfect. I'd rather die, Vashti, the first queen, than to be less than perfect. People are willing to die to get honor, as opposed to be real with themselves. How do I know a lot of this stuff? Because I used to be that person. I know how it feels to be on the other side of this. I used to always want to be perfect in other people's eyes. I know that place very well. To look perfect as opposed to actually being perfect. And the problem with being in that place is that you'll never hear anything negative about yourself. You'll always try and make sure people think you're good, so that you'll never have to hear anything bad about yourself. And if you do hear anything bad about yourself, it's so painful that you'll rather wipe that person out, or it's either wipe them out or just take a distance from them, than to actually admit to it and grow. And a person that's reached a point where they're not willing to hear anymore because they're so involved in thinking they're perfect and looking for more honor, that they'll never grow, and it's basically the end. They've got nowhere to go from there. Haman wasn't happy. He said in the Megillah, it says, V'kol zeh, all this honor that everyone in the world is bowing down to me is not worth it until Mordechai bows down to me. It's not worth it. It's not pleasurable for me. As long as there's one person in the world who's not bowing down to me, it's just not worth it. But that's insane. You've got 99.999% of the people in the world bowing down to you, and the one person who's really above you really is above you. He really is, because he's your master, because he bought you once as a slave. He's not bowing down to you. It makes no sense. It would have made more sense for Haman to say, I get it, he's above me, so everyone else is bowing down to me, and there's one person who's really above me, and that's fine. But the problem with honor, it goes beyond logic. It's a desire for people to think that you're more than you really are. If you don't remove this from your personality, you might fit into what the Pirkei Avos says, and we don't want to end up like Haman. We don't want to end up like that. And a person who doesn't seek honor, when he hears that he's wrong, he will admit to it. He won't say, no, I'm right, because saying I'm right after you've been proven wrong is Haman. Because Haman thought he was right because his feelings told him he deserves honor. He was willing to kill Mordechai and all the Jews and just not admit that he was less than Mordechai in reality. That's how far it goes when a person wants to be right about something. So I hope everyone has an amazing Purim, and I hope you take this message from the Megillah, because I feel like this is the real message of the Megillah. The Megillah is trying to tell us, don't be like Haman. Don't be like Vashti. Do what the king says, no matter what you think. And be like Mordechai, who does the right thing even at risk of dying, And don't be like Haman, who'll kill himself to do the wrong thing, which is to seek honor. And I think honor is the main thing in the Purim story. Haman is chasing honor, and Mordechai can't care less about honor. And Esther is somewhere in the middle. Vashti is also seeking honor. And all of them, the ones that sought honor died, and the ones that ran away from honor and couldn't care less about themselves, just about Hashem's honor, just became so high up. וככה יעשה לאיש אשר המלך חפץ ביקרו. This is what Hashem does to a person who he likes, who he values. And Hashem valued Mordechai for being such a person who couldn't care less about himself. He cares about what Hashem wants. Have a happy Purim, and make sure you eat a lot of sugar, because sugar is super healthy on Purim.